No.
The logo go away?
No.
Group
It's
C.
still there.
Cars. You now have a green course.
Oh, there we go.
Group C. Course is green for Group C.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Homestead Live. For the 34th Targa 66. Back home for us, Hendersonville, it's 35 degrees and rainy. And rain down here in Miami. Having a great day. We're going to tour around the paddock. Got a great group of cars from our friends at This is another of the great Historic Racing News.
Hi there, how are we today?
We're good, Jeff.
It's actually Scott. I don't mean to.
Scott,
That's all
sorry,
right.
sorry.
That's all right. I got a cousin named Jeff.
Live internet. Live internet. I have a friend, Jeff George. That's where that happened.
Yeah.
So Scott George is with us.
Yeah.
And Scott, you have brought quite a collection from Revs to Targa 66. Just give us a quick rundown of what you brought and why.
Well, yeah, we love coming to Targa 66. There's a couple of reasons why. Number one, it's sort of less than 3 hours from home. Number two, we've always had a great relationship with Brian Redmond. He used to drive a lot of our historic cars for many years. But the obvious reason is that we don't have a racetrack at home, and we need to be able to exercise some cars. And we at Revs Institute, we keep all of our cars active in the world. That's part of what we do and what we're about. preserving history and the legacy of the people that built these cars, drove them, and built them. So we brought a Porsche 904, a prototype 904 that Briggs Cunningham and Lake Underwood won their class at Sebring with in 1964. Briggs went on to race that 2 more years and finished his career in that. And Briggs Cunningham we have a lot of the Briggs Cunningham collections at Revs Institute as well. 50 cars, less than half of the collection that we have. But it's great to have this car out. This car has never been restored. It's had a light paint job on it many, many years ago, but we've just sort of kept it, did a lot of conservation work on it, and brought the mechanicals back to life a few years ago. And so it's just here, not to race, but just to get a little action in it, make sure that all the systems are working well. And then we've got this 356 Carrera GT Speedster. Well, it's not a Carrera GT Speedster. It is, actually. It is a Bruce Jennings car. Bruce Jennings was known as King Carrera in his day. It's known as the most winning SCCA car of its time. It's a car that we have not really raced before, but we're prepping it actually to race it. We're going to race this car at Velocity Invitational in June, and then at the Rolex Monterey races in Laguna Seca in August. And so it's fun to bring that out. This is a car that is at the end of the sort of the development for Bruce Jennings. It's got its special disc wheels, aluminum disc wheels on the back. It's got a RS60 type 4-cam engine in it. So it is a modified car but it was allowed in period, and we've just preserved it, and now it's coming out. It was restored about over 40 years ago, and now we're going to bring it back to the track. So then we've got this 64 Abarth Simca 2000 GT, or 2 Milia they were known as. This is a rare car that many people don't even know what it is. They made these in very, very small numbers. It was based on a Simca 1000 chassis, but Abarth built the body, and it was a pure Abarth built engine. And these were used. They won hill climbs in Europe. They were fast cars in their day. They were a little fragile because of the gearboxes. That had a Simca gearbox that was designed for 50 horsepower, but the little 2-liter engine in this car makes close to 200 horsepower. But the car only weighs 1,450 pounds or so, and it's actually very, very quick. And this car is here for some exercise, but we're also testing it because we're racing this at the Goodwood Revival this year in England. So looking forward to taking this out and running it and sharing it with people. And the reason we bring these cars out too is to make sure it's a traveling museum roadshow, right? We want to share these cars with the world. It's not about winning races. It's about talking and introducing cars that people haven't seen or didn't know. This is the only recreation that we have in the collection. This is a 1955 Lancia D50. And this is, there's a great story about these where some Italian engineer found the original engines and transaxles and some original parts, and was able to get the permissions. There's only one surviving original car in a museum in Turin, Italy. He was able to borrow the car, able to get some plans, and they actually recreated 5 of these around the original parts. And so these were very, very instrumental cars in their day. They were the pinnacle of engineering. Vittorio Giano was the designer of this. It's a stressed engine design. In other words, the front part of the suspension and subframe bolts to the engine bolts to the firewall, and it makes a very strong chassis. It's got these pannier type fuel tanks in between the wheels, which was thought to offer better balance and handling, and some aerodynamic stability and support. The engine sits at an angle as well, which allows the drive shaft to go down the left-hand side, which allows then the driver to sit right down on the floor. This was get him as low in the car as possible instead of the drive shaft going under you between the legs. And the transaxle is in the rear, so it's a very well-balanced car, a 50-50 weight distribution or so. And then the last car we have over here is the Scarab. This is a 1958 Scarab Sports Racer.
This car is absolutely beautiful.
They are. These were the cars that were the brain created by Lance Ravenlo, was the funder and the founder of Scarab Automobiles, and he hired the best engineers and car builders of their day to help them create the Scarab. And the California scene at the time was, all about beauty, and they really turned these out. This car is just how it would have looked in the period. This car has been restored. These cars were some of the winningest sports cars that around in 1958, 59, 60. And this is one of the Meisterbrowser cars from that era. It was driven by Augie Pabst and others of the period. Chuck Day. It's the only right-hand drive car of the two. This car, they actually tried an Offenhauser 4-cylinder engine in it. It didn't work, but this is the only car with the bump in the hood like that. It was helped fit the Offie engine in it as well. 339 Chevrolet, about 400 horsepower. Really, it was a Corvette-based engine in its period and Corvette transmission. And you've got your Hillborn fuel injection on it. And it's great to bring it out and share it. These were drum brake cars, magnesium wheels, but it's fun to bring this out and share it. It's one of the only ones running in this. There's another one running in the U.S., but people don't get to see a Scarab that often. So.
Now the Revs Institute is in Naples.
Revs Institute is in Naples, Florida. We are located right by the Naples airport. We've been there for over 30 years, and we're open 3 days a week from 10 to 4, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, by appointment only. Book on our website. But Revs Institute is involved in the world. We're sending cars around the world to events, shows, historic races. We also have a very extensive historic archive, and we're building a new archive and research center up at Fort Myers, and a little bit farther up the road from us, a very safe and secure facility being built to house all of our great precious materials that are unique. We're still digitizing and processing hundreds of thousands of images and many other important manuscript collections. So we want to preserve the future of our automotive past, and we're well on our way to help preserve the legacies of many that help make that special.
Thank you very much for taking the time, and I would certainly tell anybody who's in the Naples area, even if you're not in the Naples area, if you're in Florida, then the Revs Institute is a must-stop on your trip. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you bet.
Very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We're going to move along now on our live stream and see what else we can find here in the garage. That was a pretty impressive start, I can tell you that much. This right over here. This is a great event, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Brian and James do a great job. Yeah, we were just talking to another guy there that the way they keep it to a relatively smaller group and keep the chaos, a nice, friendly group, and not focusing on winning or who's got a championship. There's none of that, so that keeps that down. So everybody can come out and enjoy and be safe.
It's about as much a social gathering as it is motorsports.
I think so. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your time here.
Thank you
very much. And all Claude, It was great to see you again. And I'll enjoy catching up with you some more throughout the weekend. And then earlier, I spied this little piece, and I was frankly stunned. This This is the only chassis. Everyone, the 24 hours of towing and the 12 hours of Sebring in the same year. It's for sale. So if you got a few extra shekels, you're not sure what you're going to do. I would recommend perhaps you give Bill Riley another portion. Check out this next garage here.
You caught us doing some maintenance here.
Yeah, so you are here at Targa 66, and this is, I won't call it a test session. It's not really a test session, but it's an opportunity to get things ready for the coming season.
It really is. It's a great opportunity because of the atmosphere and this great facility and the job the Redmonds do. It's just wonderful. It's fun, and we get a lot of sessions, and we're not really racing, so we can prove things. So that's what we're doing here. We're trying to get Travis set up with all his spares for the year, and yeah, so it's we do it every year. We look forward to it. And right now, I'll point out it's 4 degrees at home, so it's not too bad.
It was 35 and rainy when we left Hendersonville.
Yeah. It's not too bad as compared to Ohio at the moment. So we're doing a little maintenance on this R8 LMP gearbox here. So we're doing a little maintenance on the viscous differential and just a general inspection. So I brought the gearbox lab with me here to the track, and I'm going to do this one and hopefully leave it with them finished. So unless I find something else wrong, that'll be the plan.
Now this is a rare look, ladies and gentlemen, at the workings of an R8 gearbox. Now Audi, when the R8 came out, had some very progressive ideas, I will say, about modular design.
Yep.
Because not only is this the gearbox, you will notice this is the rear suspension.
Yep.
So the whole thing could be changed very quickly.
Yep, that's correct, Jim. This is the famous one that kind of changed the whole thing for everybody at Le Mans when the factory team, the Yost team, was able to change this thing during the rain race in 2002. They were able to do it in a little bit over 4 minutes, and the whole world went, "What just happened?" And it's a real testament to the guys, especially at Audi and at Yost Racing, for the design of it to be able to do that. It's everything's on a quick disconnect, so the fluid lines are on a quick disconnect. The electrics, obviously, they're on the Autosport connectors, and these are the servo lines for the power steering. They actually connect as soon as you bolt the thing to the car. You don't have to do anything but bolt it on. And as you alluded to, this the R8 is an entirely stressed member car, so there's no trunnions, there's no braces, there's no brackets. So all of the load goes through the gear case, through the engine, to the monocoque. There's no exterior stuff. So it's very Lego. So you have this big component, and it was always one of the things running the race team that was very helpful, because it literally, without rushing, after a session, you can take this thing off and give it to the gearbox specialist in under 10 minutes. And he rolls it away, takes it to his spot where he can work on it. Then the guys working on the car can do their thing. Because in the old days, when everybody was working on the same car, you're in each other's way. And this way you could take these big components off and service them independently, and then put them back together very quickly. So here you see the shocks and the rocker system here. This is the pneumatic, the Megaline shift system. That's the air supply line that comes to it. And yeah, literally this thing connects to the car with this big bolt ring here, and that's it. You got 6 big nuts here and 2 bolts through the floor, and that's it. That's what holds it on. And so in competition, we would always have one prepared to go on in case we had to do that. And so that was one of the big preparation items for a big race, was to make the alignment on both rear ends, set the corner weights, and had put one on, check everything and align it, and then pull it off, put the other one on, check everything and align that, and then literally you could swap them and have a car that had a straight steering wheel and a nice firm brake pedal, and everything was good to go. And at Le Mans, this thing could be changed with a little bit of practice, could be changed in a little under 4 minutes. And the factory team, led by Dieter Meissler, my friend Dieter Meissler, in training session one time did it in 3 minutes and 8 seconds.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. The champion team did it in 3:16 once, and then that's Jim. That's stopping outside the box,
Yep.
going on skates,
Yep.
going inside, changing it, coming back out, back down on the ground, ready to go.
Fired up.
Ready to go. But it was also a very high responsibility thing for the team, because you had to make absolutely sure every detail was correct, because like at Le Mans, 40 seconds after the guy leaves the pit lane, he's going 200 miles an hour. So you don't want to leave anything to chance by not having something set correctly, or having the brakes not bled right, or whatever. But if you did your homework and you did your preparation right, you could count on it.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, Brad, I've taken up enough of your time here.
Yeah.
I'll let you get back to work. Thank you very much for giving us this tour of the gearbox. And
Yep.
enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, I'll be right here doing this until I'm done. Thanks, Jim. How's that?
That was very good, Brad. Thank you very much.
There's the inside of it.
Yeah.
Minus
Oh,
the Metamucil here.
Yeah.
But that's the old guy stuff.
The health of Brad and the health of the engine.
Yeah. These are the essential items. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. There you have it. It's Targa 66, 34th annual event, run by James Redmond, of course, Brian's son, who's really the mover and speaker behind this event now, and he has put together another absolutely fantastic event. We're going to have to ramp up our live video. Hope you enjoyed it. We've been able to cover a little bit of stuff that we hope you'll enjoy. And let's wander back down here and give us a little bit of time left. Let me see if Tim's coming back. Let's see. Like the proverbial
Once again, Group B cars.
And Steve, as promised, we are back live on Historic Racing News. Going to give you the microphone there.
How's your day been?
It has been fantastic. Tell us, I tried to tell the folks a little bit about this car when we first started working our way through the garage area here, but I'm sure I didn't do near as well as what you can do. This is a continuation. This is probably, I was a big Dan Gurney fan, still am, still AJ Foyt. This was probably the race car that turned me on to sports car racing when I was about 8 years old. So,
as many people, from what I hear.
So tell us about how this came about.
So, well, just like you said, every kid in the 70s who had a poster of a car on the wall, it was probably a Mark IV. It became so iconic for what it achieved. Now, the Mark IVs only ran for 1 year, 67, but they were so technologically advanced, and they just absolutely dominated at Le Mans that year, and Sebring for that matter, that just goes down in history as one of the best American sports car programs ever. So, one of our longtime customers and partners, Jim Matthews, was sitting talking with Bill Riley one day, and they were just kind of talking about exactly that. What are some of the most iconic sports cars in American history? And they all agreed upon the Mark IV, right? And when the assets of Carcraft came up for sale, they decided that they wanted to go ahead and acquire that. And that from then on, the Riley Carcraft continuation cars were born. We started with all the original drawings, with all the leftover new old stock. What we didn't have, we had to draw, we had to create. And it's great because Riley Technologies, we have the ability to do that. We reversed engineered what we didn't have drawings for. And of course, we had Bob Riley's mind. 92 years old. The memory on him is absolutely phenomenal at that point.
Well, I should point out that this car is accurate right down to the knockoff wheel hubs and the Gurney bump, which you told me earlier was no easy feat to duplicate.
Yeah, from a fabrication standpoint, the three pieces that come together are three separate body panels. Two of them are moving. So the rear engine cover, fixed piece on the roof, and then the door that swings out. When all three of those come together, it forms the actual full bubble. Not an easy thing. You can't just make one piece and then cut it. You have to actually, each individual piece that lays in together, exactly how it was. And we didn't compromise on anything. While it would have been extremely easy to get a modern day brake partner and make bigger brakes, better stopping power, that's not what we were doing. We recast the original Kelsey Hayes calipers that didn't exist anymore. We had the original tooling. All of the gauges are accurate. We wanted the bouncing needle on the mechanical tack. So we obtained the original Jones Matrola tachometers, make our own cables, and you get that original 1960s tachometer bouncing needle feel.
That is absolutely fantastic. Tim, thank you for taking the time to tell us about this car. And if folks are interested, how do they get a hold of you?
So it is carcraftmark4.com. You can also access it through rileytech.com, and we'll have all the information, all the specs, and how to reach out if you're interested in more info.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to kind of turn this way now, and we're going to wrap up our live stream.